The game in Toronto, I would just call a scrimmage. I wouldn't even call it a game. To me, it's just a scrimmage. And the Kings are doing exactly what they need to in a game of this magnitude. All right. They're up 68 to 45 at the break. And the same thing should happen tomorrow. And the nice thing about what's going on with so many games coming up with not many days off, you want to be able to blow these teams off the floor and not play your guys a lot of minutes. Those are two things you want to accomplish. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the Kings are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing against the Raptors.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think the biggest problem they've had in games like this is coming out with a strong third quarter to get those starters some rest
Yeah.
heading into tomorrow night, Grant.
Yeah, very good point. Tomorrow night, they're taking on the worst team in the league in the Washington Wizards. I can't imagine them being any worse than the Raptors are right now with the roster that Toronto is putting out on the court. But, again, you want to get through this game without any injuries, and you want to get through this game with your starters playing roughly 30 minutes. And, Mike Brown will be able to do that, as you said. You there, buddy? All right. Can you hear me? All right, you might have a little internet problem. Jerry, how are you? Can you hear me? Jerry? All right. We might be having a little problem
hear you
here.
guys.
Yeah, we both froze.
Jerry,
You got us? Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Nate. Saying
All
I
right.
can hear Jerry.
All right. So, Jerry, we'll put him back on. We're having a little internet issue. Ryan, you can hear me, correct, buddy?
I got you loud and clear now. It went blank for about 30 seconds.
Okay, no problem. We're all good. All right, let's see if we got Jerry. Jerry, can you hear us, Jerry? No. All right, Jerry will try to log on and come back on. Anyway, again, you don't want to have any injuries in this game. You already are without a couple of players, and you want to make sure that, your starters don't have to extend themselves.
Exactly. And don't give these guys a reason to believe. And I don't think the Kings are doing that this game. Because, Grant, even though they're undermanned, these are the trickier teams for any team in the NBA to play because they get spread out and they're just playing kind of pickup ball because they don't play much together.
Jerry, you got us now?
I got you now.
This is good. This is exactly what you expected in a game like this. I mean, there's no reason why this game should be close. It's not. And now Ryan just made a good point. You want to make sure in the third quarter you come out and put this game away so you don't have to play your players a lot of minutes. You have a brutal schedule coming up. You have a game tomorrow, then you have a day off and you play Orlando, and then you have one day off and play Philadelphia, and then the next night Dallas. So you have a lot of games coming up, and you don't want to extend these guys if you don't have to.
No, you'd really like to get out of this with Domas and Fox and guys like that playing about 26 minutes maybe. Mm-hmm. And because but your point is exactly right. You really got to try to stretch out the lead early in the third, because if you give, they're the home team, so if they cut into your lead at all, then they're going to start playing with a little confidence. But it's been a really good half, and you guys said, I mean, you just got to keep it going, keep ball pressure on and get out in the open floor.
Yeah, no doubt. Get out in the open floor. And if you're the Kings too, I would be very concerned if the ball stops moving. The start of this game, their first 5 buckets, they had 4 assists and 4 different starters had an assist. So it feels like the balance is back with Keon not demanding a lot of attention.
No, very unselfish play, and the only negative is just the sloppiness of it. They had 2 or 3 turnovers that you just shouldn't make. But when you're playing faster and all, some of that's going to happen. But I like, of course, Keon. There again, he does some little things that just really do show up in the box score. Not for him, but they show up in the box score.
All right, if there's one negative in this first half, it's the struggling of Keegan Murray offensively. That's about the only issue. I mean, boy, if you could get his game going offensively, wow. What do you think about this, Jerry?
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, he's playing a great floor game. He's rebounding defensively and taking charges. He's doing so many good things, but you want him to he's getting good shots. So just make them. That's all. And so that's one of the things I think, we'll be looking for in the second half to see if Keegan can get his offense going a little bit and get some confidence. But, the effort, the Kings are doing to the Toronto Raptors what they should, and they just got to keep doing it.
Bingo.
68-45 at the half. Ryan, I didn't mean to step on you there. I want to get everyone with their final score. So think about that in a minute. But go ahead, Rhino.
No, I was just going to say, regardless of what Keegan's doing offensively and if he's touching the ball, his defense is always there. His defense is there. When the Kings need a charge, he gets it.
All right. So what do you think? Final score, Jerry? I think the Kings are going to get 130 tonight. So I know that they'll probably play a lot of guys, but I still think that there's no reason why Toronto should score 100 points in this game. I'll tell you what, I'm going to lower my score, but I'm going to go, it's going to be 127-97.
Well, I'll go 128-105.
I thought 190 it came out of your mouth, not 190, right?
I was
190. Yeah.
I'm going to go lower than you guys. I think the Kings win, but I'm going to say 121-99.
Yeah, I don't think the Raptors will score 100, though. Do we agree on that?
I think they will.
You do?
Yeah, just because. Not any other reason than the game is out of hand and a lot of garbage points.
I just don't see how they're going to score. I mean, I'm looking at their roster and I'm thinking, gee, I haven't even heard of half of these guys. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I mean, I've heard of some of them, but a lot of these players on this team, I'm like, I don't even know who these guys are.
No, they've obviously they weren't real good when everybody's healthy.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, that's a sad reality. I mean, Scotty Barnes and Jacob Pertl. I mean, they've got some guys that are good, really good, especially Barnes is a star. And then R.G. Barrett, Daniel Quickly. I mean, when they're totally healthy, I wouldn't have, it would not have been a cakewalk by any standard for the Kings. So they've caught this team at the right time, right way, and you got to take advantage.
Yep, no doubt, Jerry. That's exactly what the Kings do. And hopefully they can. I want to see the steals, the pressure defense, because when they're doing that, taking advantage, it works. It gets them out in transition. And to your point about the Raptors not being healthy, when they are, they've played Domas really good the last couple seasons. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, they're really long, and it really bothers him a little bit. And so anyway, like I say, at the end of the day, this is a game, a winnable game. It should be won. It should be won convincingly, and then move on to the next game.
Yeah, and I want to see a box score at the end of the game where no one plays more than 32 minutes. There's no need for it. I mean, if you come out with, focus in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, you'll be up by 30 points before you know it in this game. And that's what needs to happen. And then Mike Brown, to me, needs to coach this game differently. I like Mike Brown as a coach. Don't get me wrong. I think he has a tendency to play his players way too many minutes in blowout games. And again, I'm looking at the schedule, which is brutal after tomorrow night. And I would love to see a little luxury here with your players not having to extend themselves. And the man that's responsible for that is the coach. If you get up 30 on this team, there is absolutely no way in the world. This is not a Kings 35-point comeback in Chicago, the game that Jerry and me did years ago when Tyreek was a rookie. That's not this Raptors team. This game to me is over right now. But if you go up by 10 more points in the third, the game will be over.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get them rest, he's got to get them some rest. And I mean, certainly, there's, some stat things that you always worry about your star players getting, but I mean, get close to your averages and get them rest.
Yeah, and the other thing is get some of the role guys or some of the guys that don't play a ton of minutes, get them rolling because the Kings are inevitably going to need them if somebody gets in foul trouble or hurt.
Yeah. So we'll see.
One last thing I'd say is I really like the three guards. He's getting some really good momentum out of them. I mean, Duarte I've really becoming a Duarte fan. I really didn't like him early in the year, but he's playing better and better. But this team can get by playing three guards because Keegan and Domas rebound so well.
Jerry, when the Kings play three guards and specifically having Keon on the floor with De'Aaron, does that free De'Aaron up to be kind of that free safety that's more of his natural defensive position?
I think it does, and that is exactly what he is. He's so quick reacting and gets his hands on a lot of things, can make individual steals. But yeah, I like the speed and quickness of the team. And Domas for a center is unusually mobile. He's very comfortable away from the basket, guarding people and trying to get in passing lanes and things. You don't see that much with centers.
Another game coming up of importance is Phoenix is hosting Philadelphia tonight. Of course, the Kings will see the Sixers when they come home from this road trip, but we'll keep our eye on that after this game is over. Speaking of this game being over, we will be on right after the game. Me and Ryan will have the post-game show, and the beam will be lit. I'm guaranteeing that the beam will be lit. There is absolutely no way the Kings are losing this game against this team. It is 68-45. I mean this. I'm not so sure the Kings G League team might not be competitive against this Raptors lineup that they have on the floor. They wouldn't win, but I don't know if they would get blown out or not. I'm telling you, I think this game could be over in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. Ryan, you said it. Just come out and put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, or the metal, put it down, right? And you should be able to take all you guys out of this game.
I sure hope so, Coach Reynolds.
Yeah, well, I think somebody will go to light the beam now. But I will say this: I don't think the talent level at Toronto is much worse than Memphis. The big difference: Memphis played so much harder.
Yeah, good point.
I really think that coach is one of the more underrated coaches in the league because those guys busted their hump.
Yeah, they do. And yep. I was talking to Eric Hasseltine.
Yeah.
I was talking with Eric Hasseltine, the longtime radio voice of the Grizzlies. And he told me that. He goes, I'm just telling you, he goes, we don't have enough talent to win, but we will play hard. And every night, he goes, every night, these guys really put in their effort. They bring their lunch pails. And he said, I give them a lot of credit for that. Because, Jerry, you and me, we know. We've been around a lot of teams and involved with a lot of teams where, oh boy, when you get to this time of the year and you can see the finish line and you have nothing to play for, you're not even competitive. And we know we've lived through many of those years. I give the Grizzlies a lot of credit.
No, I do too. I mean, they legitimately had a chance to win the game the other night, and just because of how hard they played, and they had a couple of key players, but that was it. A bunch of guys, anybody could have had. So I think similar to this, I like to say I like that talent a little better. But the truth is, the big difference is they just really competed.
Yep. Jerry, enjoy the second half, and we look forward to chatting with you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to see that beam go up. And, I think they ought to just put it up now in honor of Grant Napier. So it's going up.
Thank you
for Napes.
Leave it up there until you get to Orlando. Absolutely.
Just don't try to climb it, Napes. Just don't try to climb it.
See you, Jerry. All right, take care.
Later.
All right,
Jerry.
Ryan, appreciate it. We'll be back here after the game. Enjoy the second half. Thanks for being with us here on If You Don't Like